The Barnstable Police Department is gearing up for the busy summer season. A new substation will soon open in Marston's Mills, and the Town Council Roads Subcommittee continues to discuss ways to make repairs to private roads. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, May 6th, 2014. I'm Sarah Mannel. Uniformed police officers will soon be stationed on Main Street in Hyannis. That's in an effort to address quality of life issues. Chief of Police Paul McDonald says the Community Impact Group is made up of 3 officers assigned to deal with issues specifically on Main Street, Hyannis.
We've been working very closely with the Main Street Group, Social Services, and HAC, and our piece of the puzzle is to put together a specialized unit that will be totally dedicated to Main Street, Hyannis. And their primary responsibility was to address the issues of homelessness and related police calls for services, plus one other thing, crime and disorder problems along Main Street, Hyannis. They are specifically designed to address the quality of life issues in and around Main Street, Hyannis. We do have some experience doing this before. We do have the Barnstable Street Crime Unit. However, they primarily do the exact same thing, but they do it during nighttime hours. They deal with all the bar rooms and any type of issues in the village of Hyannis. So we've put together this other specialized unit, 3 offices. We have had a number of officers put in for the team. We've made the selection. The 3 officers have been notified, and they will be up and running probably next week sometime.
The 3 new officers will work to form relationships with Main Street business owners and residents. They will operate out of the Main Street station and patrol on foot and on bicycle. The Barnstable Police West Villages station could open within the next few weeks. Chief of Police Paul McDonald says the space at the intersection of Osterville West Barnstable Road and Route 28 is being prepared for police.
Lease has been signed. We've been in there for 2 weeks. We're in the process of renovating the entire location. When we rented it, 7-Eleven gave us a great deal on the lease. They gave it a discounted price. However, it's very raw square footage. So a bunch of contractors throughout the town. I give these people a lot of credit. They're coming in on their own time, working nighttime. Botello Lumber Company out of the Barnstable Mashpee line, they've donated all of the lumber, any building materials we need. They're giving to us for free. And they're working there almost every night, and it's coming along. I was out there last night, and it looks like $1 million.
The station will be used as a home base for patrolmen assigned to the western parts of town. The chief is hoping the station will open by Memorial Day weekend. The Town Council Roads Subcommittee continues to look for ways to fund private road repairs. During a meeting held this week, Town Attorney David Houghton talked about the temporary road repair program already in place.
Towns may by ordinance provide for programs for the temporary repairs to private roads, and the statute states some of the things that the ordinance needs to contain, among them whether betterments are to be assessed, what percentage of petitioners need to petition in order to have temporary repairs to private roads made. The town has enacted an ordinance. It's Chapter 206, Article 3 of Chapter 206 of the Code. And that ordinance provides, among other provisions, that at least 50% of the abutters need to, I think he uses the term abutters, needs to petition in order to have a temporary repairs to private roads, a private road made, and that the petition, the town manager has the discretion whether to make the repairs or not. The town council obviously has the authority to appropriate the funds to make the temporary repairs. The ordinance does provide that betterments may be assessed. And as you can see, I guess from the materials that you have for this meeting, there was a set of guidelines adopted by the Public Works Commission back in 1995, which was updated in 2006. And those guidelines are really the nuts and bolts of how the program is administered. But again, I guess I'd emphasize that ultimately it's the town manager that has the discretion whether or not to bring a particular road within the program. So I hope that at least helps you with some of the framework of how it functions. Our department really doesn't get that deeply involved in the process. We don't have any regular role. Obviously, we'll render opinions from time to time. You know, those opinions have included, you know, what's in a butter, who qualifies as an abutter, whether or not, you know, what areas can be, you know, can be included within a temporary repair. And I guess I should mention one other statute, and that's Section 1 of Chapter 80, which is the betterment statute. And the betterment statute states that if a particular area is to receive benefit from a public improvement, which is different from the benefit that the general public is going to receive from the improvement, that particular area can be assessed a betterment for the difference between whatever the particular or the additional benefit that area is receiving that the general public does not from the public improvement. That determination is made by, and the public improvement needs to be undertaken pursuant to the order of, it says a board of officers of the Commonwealth or of a city or town. That the statutory authority for betterments goes all the way back to 1866. So, you know, where the statute uses the reference to a board of officers of a city, of a Commonwealth or a city or a town.
Town Council Vice President Ann Kennedy says the council may need to update the town's ordinance.
I'm going to shut up, but I think there's a couple of there's a couple of things that I'm thinking in my head. One is, when I came in here, I had underlined a bunch of things that I thought were either outdated or incorrect in how we're using it, or, you know, typos. There were all kinds of other reasons why that I highlighted these things, and I thought we would go through the document and bring it up to date and change what we wanted to change. But then I'm also hearing that even if we do that, the program, in order to be, it's successful, but in order for it to function well, you kind of need more staff, and you kind of need a funding mechanism as a department. I mean, that's not going to be paid back through betterments.
Town Councilor Jim Crocker asked town staff to verify what items Town Council has passed and what items have been approved by the state legislature for future reviews.
I want somebody to tell me, if you guys work on item 3, be aware that that is contrary to what was approved by the state legislation in 94. And that means that area is going, so we might say, well, maybe we don't need to tweak that one. Maybe we could put it in the base of something else, because some of these, as we found, just about the recuperating of the expenses, show both up on page 1 and on page 4. So there are different vehicles available for us as we structure a document to insert the right thing, to get a good document, to then have a viable standing. When you spend money and you have a checkered document, and you don't know that you can enforce your betterments, and I mean, we can enforce them. I don't mean to, as Roger says, paint a picture that isn't appropriate, but we shouldn't put the staff at risk, whether it be the assessor's office or the manager or anyone else, because we realized we worked on a document and there were pieces of the puzzle we missed.
The Roads Committee will meet again to continue their work June 2nd. Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning. It airs weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we'll chat with Finance Director Mark Milne and have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.